makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about the millionaire part. So you have to decide what kind of millionaire do you want to be. What does that mean? What kind of millionaire do you want to be? Because like everybody thinks that all millionaires have $1 million. Well, all millionaires don't have $1 million. Many do. Like some millionaires, some of us have millions and millions of dollars, but some of us don't have $1 million. Some of us don't have 300,000. Some people are. How can somebody be a millionaire if they don't have 300,000? Well, it depends on what kind of millionaire you are, right? So, what kind of millionaire do you want to be? So, there are 3 types of millionaires that I'm going to talk about. I believe that you can become. I believe that you can become 2 of these in network marketing. Okay. So, well, you can become all 3, but network marketing, the third one, it won't be in the network marketing. You can use the money you make from network marketing to become the third kind. So, the first one is what I call a virtual millionaire. Now, by the way, my recommendation is now, always has been, and send trash man to cash man, is always become a virtual millionaire first. What is a virtual millionaire? What does that even mean? Okay, so let's say by some strange turn of events, you accumulated $1 million. Okay, which I know sounds like just a ton of money. It is, but it's not that much, right? I mean, if you wanted to, you could go through that in a day. It'd be kind of, you'd have to buy some things you wouldn't ordinarily buy and pay cash for them, but you could go through $1 million in a day, right? I know I've done it more than one occasion. Right? You can go through $1 million in a day. Trust me. Okay, so what's that? Yeah, exactly. That is the new 100,000. And so $1 million. So if you had $1 million, are you a millionaire? Yes. But if you spend $1, are you still a millionaire? No, you're a 999,999 there, and that takes way too long to say. So we don't want to become a millionaire just so we can immediately become a 999,999 there. So what do? We invest the $1 million. We don't spend it, right? So we invest the $1 million. Let's say we can get 6% on that $1 million. What's 6% of $1 million? What is it? 60,000. That's 60,000. $60,000. So 6% of $1 million is $60,000. If you divide the $60,000 by 12 months, that gives you how much per month? It gives you $5,000 per month. Now, y'all remember learning this math, right? In elementary school. 2 things that are equal to the same thing are also equal to each other. So I call this Virtual Millionaire Secrets, How to Live Like a Millionaire on Your Way to Becoming One. What does that mean? Anything you do that brings in a passive $5,000 a month is the equivalent to having $1 million invested at 6%. Now, here's what's cool about this. This gives you a feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of hope, like I'm doing this thing, I'm on this journey, and it's working. I became a virtual millionaire long before I ever became a liquid millionaire, right? Okay, so $5,000 a month, 2 things are equal to the same thing are also equal to each other. So here's what we're going to do. To show you why this is so important, let me ask you all a question. At the rate you're saving money right now, how long is it going to take you to save $1 million? Here's the answer. A long time, right? If you save $100 a month, it's going to take you 833 years. Now, I'm not sure exactly how old you're going to be in 833 years, but you're probably going to be too tired to spend the $1 million. Okay, if you save $1,000 a month. Now, can most people save $1,000 a month? Probably. No, probably not. Not most people. Some people can, but most people can't save $1,000 a month. But if you save $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month would get you $1 million accumulated. I'm talking about 0 interest. Obviously, you'd have interest, but I'm just giving you an illustration. $1 million, like $1,000, it would take you 83.3 years. How old are you going to be 83.3 years? I'm going to be 83.3 years. I'm going to be 156. Here's what that equals. Tired. Like really tired. Okay? Right? You're 156. You're really, you ain't thinking about, where can I go spend this money today? No, that's not what you're thinking. Okay. So how long, so if you're saving $10,000 a month, it's only going to take you 8.3 years. That's kind of mind-blowing too. You're saving 10,000 a month, and it's going to take you 8.3 years to get to $1 million. Okay, right. Why did I do that? Because if you can't get to the $1 million, you can't invest it at 6%. How are you going to get to the $5,000 a month? Well, here's the point. It doesn't matter. Let's say you can get to $5,000 a month in residual in your network marketing company. That is the equivalent to having $1 million invested at 6%. What if you're in real estate and you have 10 properties that are giving you $500 a month positive cash flow? That's how much profit you're making. Well, then those 10 properties give you the ability to live like a millionaire on your way to becoming one. If you have $1 million, you don't live off the million, you invest the million and you live off the interest. So now you can build a business that makes you $5,000 a month. You can do that like part-time in your spare time. You can do it in network marketing. Like, we make more than $5,000 a month just from our books that are online, and I'm running no ads. Like, we have so many, like virtually, we're a virtual multi. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of dollars a month coming in without having to go out and get it. Now, I'm not bragging, oh, Myron, you're so wonderful. I'm just telling you, if we can get to hundreds of thousands, you get to 5,000, right? And so, when I decided I'm going to be a millionaire, the first thing I decided, I'm going to become a virtual millionaire first. Why? Because now I've got freedom. Why? Because this $5,000 a month is coming in without me having to go out and get it. So I don't just have $5,000 a month. I have $5,000 a month and 160 hours a month of work time that I can invest my time into figuring out what to do with that 5,000 and turn it into 50,000. So the objective of becoming a virtual millionaire is to free up your time so that now you can invest that time into things that can bring you to the next point, which is going to be a cash flow millionaire. Cash flow millionaire, what's that? That's somebody who's making, on average, about $84,000 a month. $84,000 a month in cash flow, whether it's active or passive. $84,000 a month is $1 million a year. It's about $2,700 a day. Here's what I'm here to tell you. I'm not saying this because to sound all rich. I'm saying this because it's doable for you. I know. Like, getting to $2,700 a day, like on autopilot, is not hard. It's not. It's no hard. Okay, I'll put it to you like this. It is hard, but it's no harder than what you're doing already. And what you're doing already has no chance whatsoever of getting $2,700 a day or $84,000 a month. So the second kind of millionaire is a cash flow millionaire. So to get to $84,000 a month in multi-level marketing is way harder than getting to $5,000 a month, but it's still doable. Guess what? But what if the books that you write and the courses that you create, let's say you got a course that sells for $500. Okay, course that sells for $500. You sell, what is that? 16 of those a month? No, is that right? 160 a month. 160, $500. That's $84,000 or $80,000. That's so doable. All I'm doing is getting you to think. So here's what happens. People don't get to the millions because they don't do the math, not because it's so hard. Because the number is in their minds so big that they don't do the math and then backwards extrapolate or reverse engineer what they have to do to get to those numbers. That's the real reason you're not rich yet. You're not rich because it's so hard. You're not rich. You just never thought about it. Like, I sat down and thought about it, okay? I thought about the virtual millionaire secrets. Okay, I'm going to do the virtual millionaire. Then I'm going to do the cash flow millionaire, okay? Then, eventually, you get to liquid millionaire, which you can do, like if you're really good with your money, liquid millionaire. There's actually 4. I said there's 3. Liquid millionaire. So what's liquid millionaire? That's when you got $1 million. But see, most people value this. Like, if I had to choose between liquid millionaire and virtual millionaire, I'd choose virtual millionaire. Why? Because cash flow is more valuable than cash accumulation. It's way more valuable. In fact, it's so much, like, everything, all principles are microcosms of each other, right? So when you go to Israel, you've got the Sea of Galilee that's up north, and you got the Dead Sea that's down south, and you got the River Jordan that flows. Well, here's what's interesting. The Dead Sea is dead. Why is the Dead Sea dead? It only has an inlet, it has no outlets. Stuff can flow into it, but it can't flow out of it. And see, you want your money to become a Dead Sea of millions of dollars. You want it flowing in. I just want to accumulate and then go back and look at it and see how much I have. No, it's one of the reasons why you stay broke is because you're like a money hoarder. You don't get it. Cash is way more powerful when it's flowing. It does way more for you and your life and your family when it's flowing, not when you're just, I want to get as much as I can all I get, and then sit on my can. No, that's not it. You want to keep it flowing. So liquid millionaire, I mean, it's nice being a liquid millionaire, but then the money's just there. Now you got to find something to do with it. Okay, so, and this is what brings me to the last one, which is an asset millionaire. Okay, how can I set up my life so that these liquid millions and this cash flow millions, I can take this active and passive business revenue and put it in some assets, that those assets now eventually grow to where they're producing more money than my active and passive business revenue produced together. So if you can create a financial game for yourself, first of all, okay, how fast can I get to virtual millionaire? How fast can I get to $5,000 a month passive cash flow? Well, do you realize if you have a membership site, like you have a membership site or a newsletter, and it's $100 a month, you only need 500 customers. That's $5,000 a month. No, that's not right, is it? You don't need 500. Let me see. It's 50. You need 50 customers. 50 customers at $100 a month is $5,000 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like on a newsletter or software, 50 customers gives you $5,000 a month. Guess what? 500 customers gives you $50,000 a month. What? This is getting crazy. 5,000 customers gives you $500,000 a month. You say, Myron, what are you saying? I'm just saying, learn to think about your math, do your math. Because the reality is, like, I mean, cash accumulation and cash flow can create opportunities for you. Because sometimes when you're doing, like, cash flow strategies, you need some cash accumulation for a down payment, right? So get to the place in your life where first and foremost, you decide, okay, I'm going to become a virtual millionaire. I'm going to figure out, maybe it's 2 different income streams. Maybe it's 4 different income streams, but I'm going to figure out how I can get me $5,000 a month passive coming in. Let me tell you something. That $5,000 a month passive is going to free up you. Because the reality is, I mean, the average person ought to be able to live off of $5,000 to $10,000 a month. I mean, I can live off of $5,000 to $10,000 a month. More 10 than 5, just because I bought some stuff that is expensive to insure. Like, but that's doable for everybody. And when you do it, now you set yourself up. So what happened for us, this is a progression that happened for us. We became first virtual millionaires. We were virtual millionaires for years before we were ever cash flow millionaires. Then we became cash flow millionaires. We were generating over $1 million a year in revenue. And then multiple millions of dollars a year in revenue. And then all of a sudden you look around, oh, we've been doing this for a long enough period of time. Okay, now we have liquid millions. Okay, now what do? Oh, we got to figure out how we're going to protect these liquid millions. We got to put them into assets. And so now, yes, we're asset millionaires, but we're all constantly looking for some more assets, because what happens when your cash flow gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you have to look for ways to offset taxes and exposure, right? And so you do that by taking the accumulated cash and putting it into things that create more cash flow. And preferably that also eliminate taxes or minimize taxes on the cash flow millionaire millions and the virtual millionaire millions and some of the accumulated millionaire millions. So now what's happening is you're becoming wealthier because you're protecting your money from the powers that would come and take it from you. This is how you become a network marketing millionaire. If you will do this, I know, but Myron, I don't know how to write a book. I get it. You don't know how to write a book. I don't know how to create a course. I get it. You don't know how to create a course. But when you landed on this planet, you couldn't walk, you couldn't talk, you couldn't ride a bicycle, you couldn't use a cell phone, you didn't know how to use a fork or a knife. Like, there's so many things couldn't tie your shoes. There's so many things you couldn't do. So I don't know how is not a legitimate excuse for not doing something. The real reason we don't do the things that will make our lives better is because they're not important enough to us. It's not because we don't have the money, it's not because we don't have the time, and it's not because we don't know how. Because we've all done things we didn't have time for. We've all learned how to do things we didn't know how to do. We've all bought things we didn't have the money for. When somebody comes up with an excuse, what they're actually saying is this is not important enough to me to figure it out. So here's my question for you on YouTube. Here's my question for those of you in this room. Is becoming a virtual millionaire, a cash flow millionaire, a liquid millionaire, and an asset millionaire valuable enough to you that you're willing to do whatever it takes to set your family free? Because I believe, do now and have for quite some time, that poverty is always the result of spiritual warfare. And so we bought into some kind of lie. We've built a wall of protection around it in our mind so we feel like we're doing the right thing. And then we live in the land of lack for the rest of our days. Let's don't do that anymore. My recommendation